Welcome to Daily Armour. Today's scripture will be found in Job chapter 42 and verse number 3. Verse number 3 says, "Who is he that hideth counsel without knowledge? Therefore have I uttered that I understood not, things too wonderful for me which I knew not." This is Job's answer to the Lord. Job had some questions. He wanted to know why he was going through all that he was going through. He lost everything. In the midst of all that, he had some questions. And the Lord spent many verses, and that's where we're going to kind of be looking at probably over the course of this week, is looking at the Lord's response to Job's questions. And he, in essence, didn't give him an answer to his questions. Sometimes we want answers and we don't get them, and we have to be okay with that because God's the one in control. And I've just been pondering and thinking on the creation testifies of the Lord, explains that there is God, there is a God, there is a one and only God, and He created all of this that we get to enjoy and experience. And I just want us to focus on our Creator this week, and we're going to be looking at some scripture where He explains what He's done, what He created. And I think that we will say, like Job, things too wonderful for me. And that's the part of the verse that I want us to focus on today. Lord, these things are just too wonderful for me. It's too amazing that I look in this beautiful blue sky today and I see all these wonderful clouds moving across the sky, painting a picture like an artist making a painting. This too wonderful for me to comprehend and to understand. When I'm at the ocean and I look across the vastness of the ocean, and I know I'm only seeing just a small portion of that vastness, that He created the oceans. He told the waves how far in they could come and how far out they could go out. He's in control of all that. He tells the sun when it's time to come up. He tells the moon when it's time for it to shine. He paints patterns in the sky with the stars. And I would say that I'm like Job, and it's just too wonderful for me. He asked Job some questions, and we're going to be looking at that later in this week, Lord willing, if He keeps us on this path. But I just want to focus on that the life here on earth testifies of our Creator. And we need to remember that no matter what's going on in our life, that if He is in control of all of that, and He is, if He created all of that, and He did, He is the master designer, then He can handle the things that are in our life. And that should give us some comfort and should let us know that no matter what's going on in our life, that we can get through it one step at a time, one day at a time, and that God is in control. Was God in control of what was going on in Job's life? Job didn't understand that God had allowed those trials to come into his life. And Job didn't understand that, and Job never got an answer for that. But Job understood that God was in control, and he said in verse number 3, "Things too wonderful for me, things too wonderful for me." Man, we are surrounded by things that are too wonderful for us to comprehend and understand. And I know that man likes to try to put an explanation to things, and they like to say that it was a big bang, and they like to say that it's this or it's that, and it's just because it's things that are too wonderful for them to comprehend, and they want to try to give an explanation. And where God is concerned, well, there is no explanation. There is no words that we can sum Him up in a sentence. There's no way that we can fully wrap our hands or our heads around who He is, but that we know that He created us, and He created the trees, the grass, the animals, and Lord willing, we'll get to look at some of these specific things that He talks about. And it excited me, and I hope that it'll excite you, and I hope you join me this week as we journey through some of that. So just look around today and admire those things that are just too wonderful for you and for me. Thank you for joining me.